Hey peeps, it's November. It's actually halfway through the month and here we are together. I thought instead of doing decks I want to work with in November for my Vault series this month, because I kind of missed the window for that, I would do a nice little witchy chat video with you guys and share my favorite things this month from a glamour magic perspective, from an oracle and tarot deck perspective, from a fragrance perspective, and from a reading perspective. So this is going to be a chunky long video. Hopefully you'll enjoy hanging out with me here and there where you feel called to, explore my faves this month. But I wanted to kind of just start the video like I typically do when I do a witchy chat video and talk about aspects of my practice, what I've been working with, who I've been working with, how things have been feeling from a witchcraft perspective for my personal journey. I had to grab some tea. And it's that time of year. London fogs are back. I am doing all the Earl Grey. And so I did want to just really quickly say the 2 Earl Grey teas that I've been loving this autumn. And one of them, a beautiful, adored sister in the journey, actually gifted me this last year around the holidays. She probably doesn't even know I was having a bit of a lonely day, and I got this little gift package in the mail from her, and it really meant a lot to me. But this is the White Heron Earl Grey Black Tea. White Heron's actually in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, so it's a pretty cool spot. I have been there before, and I am hoping to actually get there this month. I was supposed to get there in person last month to go get a London fog, but I ended up getting super sick, and so I didn't get to go. So I'm hoping to do that before the end of November, but this is a really great Earl Grey. So I've been enjoying this White Heron Earl Grey blend. The other Earl Grey I've been enjoying is the Palais de Thé. Please forgive me if I am mispronouncing that. And this is their Blue of London Earl Grey. This is another nice one. This is a loose tea. And then this one is in a bag. So, but it is sustainably, it's a sustainable bag, excuse me. So, either option are absolutely stunning. But yes, it is definitely London fog time. And I was so excited, guys, because I think it was in the spring, I just made a decision to make a little investment and get one of those, oh my God, perimenopause. What is the name of it? It's one of those kitchen tools that lets you foam milk by hand. And so I have been doing my London fogs at home now too. I don't have to go out and try to find a tea place that makes them. So that's been really fun. But anyhow, here we are. We're deep into the hermit season. We're deep into my 3 favorite months of the year. Well, I should say I do love May. I love April and May as well. I like March too. I would say my faves, March, April, May, but really the sweet spot for me with everything happens September, October, November. I love that time, this time of year. So my magical practice is always really exciting and energizing this time of year because I just love the moodiness. I love the darkness of this time of year. I love the gray, the cold, the way that the trees have no leaves by the time you move into November. So they always feel like skeletons to me, and I love to stand underneath them. And because Vincent and I have Fable now, I have to go outside a lot more than I typically do this time of year because, you get to take your pup outside. It's been really fun to make friends with the cold because I typically hate the cold. I do really struggle. January, February are really tough months for me. I do end up with some seasonal depression there because it's so cold. It's so snowy here. But I've been kind of making friends with the cold a little bit as I've had to be out there a little bit more in it. So, I'm cautiously optimistic about this winter for myself personally with seasonal depression. But in making a friend of the cold, there has been kind of a, I just need to take a sip of tea, guys, sorry. My throat is still recovering from that insane cold I had in October. It's just not back, so when I talk a lot, I struggle to keep my voice. What was what were we talking about? The cold, yes. So as I've been freezing my ass off in the cold, taking my pup out to use the bathroom multiple times a day and night, I've been feeling this Fae energy coming in, but it's not the way that I typically feel Fae energy. It's more the Kalia coming through, and I've been working a lot with that in tandem with the Laputan Oracle, and I'm going to talk about that at the end of the video when we go into my fave decks. So I'm not going to waste too much energy on talking about decks right here because that's the ending of this video. You're going to see me wax poetical about the decks I'm loving this month. But there is a Fae energy within Laputan, but it's not a Celtic Fae. So the Cailleach is Celtic. But the way that I've been connecting with the Fae feels almost more alien in some way. I'm not sure how to describe it exactly. But it's been a different feel coming through the magic of bones and earth this year for me. And I'm really enjoying it. I'm not, you know, it's new. It's not 100% new, but it's not an aspect of the Fae that I tend to connect with a lot. So, and as you guys know, I'm very cautious with the Fae. So I'm not cozying up too quickly. But I am intrigued. I always feel the voice of the land as crone energy this time of year, and I love to talk to her this time of year because she's in her solitude as well. And so I think when a companion comes forward that's talking to her, I think she's happy to dialogue. You know, you might not always want to hear what she has to say, but I think she's happy to talk and share. And where I am now, I'm right by a little lake, kind of a glorified pond here in New England. And I don't mean that as a denigration. I love ponds, actually. I love ponds more than I love lakes. So, but the land here is very different than what I'm used to because I'm used to the woods or the ocean. And this is a more liminal space. So when I'm speaking with the crone, when I'm speaking with grandmother here, it feels a little bit different. There's an ice water element, yes, right? I'm motioning here because the little lake's out there. But there's also this like alien kind of, I don't know if is alien the right word? As I'm trying to describe it to you guys, it's like, what am I talking about there? It's frozen, it's brittle old bones, but it's also this kind of like star galaxy, but it's encoded in the dirt in a way. I don't know how to describe it. I guess I haven't found the right verbiage yet. That will be interesting to explore. How would I describe that correctly? I haven't quite gotten there, but let me know if you felt that too in your practice. There's this different kind of feeling that's old, but it's also foreign in a way, in a way that it feels like it's from a different plane and it's kind of visiting. And so I'm a little bit like, ooh, I don't know who you are. Can we talk? And that aspect of the land here doesn't want to come in and have tea. So I've got to greet her out there. And so when I walk with Fable, when I take Fable out to, you know, to use the bathroom, I talk to her. And Fable's very obsessed with squirrels, so he kind of forces me to get off the beaten path. You know, I'm not walking through on the nature trail like I used to do a lot when I lived in Wolfboro, New Hampshire. Now I'm out in the dirt with the pine needles and the old trees and the roots sticking up everywhere, and so you have to watch your step. You have to slow down and like really be careful so you're not twisting an ankle out there in the dark. And that's been really eye-opening for me. And there's a curiosity I have with that I love, which is why I think I love my practice so much, because it's never freaking boring. It's never boring. There's always a new energy to get to know. There's always something new to try on for a perspective. There's always a new window through a doorway with myth. There's always a different way that ritual opens me up to a sensuality and magic within my own essence that I feel profoundly grateful for. So I do, in keeping with the theme, at least here stateside in November, because we celebrate Thanksgiving. Gratitude is supposed to be something we're all thinking about, right? But I do this year more than I have perhaps in the recent past. I am filled with a gratitude, and that gratitude is for the practice and the path. And I'm really thankful that I get to practice this and live this all the time. So thank you for being a part of that experience with me, and for allowing me to do that by being present in the way that so many of you are. So I'm very grateful for you guys as I'm moving through November as well, and lighting my little candles for my beloveds. And you know what's so exciting too is I found in my client work over the last few months, more and more people really wanting to go deep in deity work. And I freaking love that. Like, I am here for that. So that's been really exciting too, to get a chance to talk about that, whether it's from a tutorial or teaching perspective, or it's just from a sharing perspective. And I would say along those lines, the Kalia, very present. Lilith has been making her presence known again, and it's very interesting because what I redid my altar after Samhain, and I was saying to my Patreon peeps too, like, I had this insanely maximalist altar for Samhain. Like, it was even more maximalist than, I mean, you see me. I have the cozy blankies everywhere. I have candles everywhere. I have books everywhere. I have ephemera everywhere, right? Like, I love layers upon layers of things. This altar was at an epic level though, like, even for me, to the point where I was like, taking her down is going to take an afternoon. And then I was also like, I kind of love her. Like, I don't know if I'm ever going to want to take this altar down because there's so many layers, right? But after Samhain, it was like, boom. As soon as I moved through the evolution, because I kind of work with Samhain on like a 3-day cycle, more than I do some Sabbats. Some Sabbats I feel the flow through pretty quickly, but Samhain is always at least 3 days and then I move through the Day of the Dead, and that's a very personal, intimate thing for me. But it was like, boom, Samhain was done, Day of the Dead had finished, and I woke up one morning and I heard cleared out new energy. And so my next personal altar is very minimalist. There's actually very little happening on that altar. It's like the polar opposite of my Samhain altar, which has been really interesting because my main altar is now in my bedroom. For years, that main altar had been out in the main family space. But Vincent is getting older. He's a very social creature. And so I have a lot of preteens moving through my home. And they don't necessarily always understand that they can't pick something up from the altar and not put it back where it was, in the same way that Vincent and I have his entire life lingo around altars, right? So I have now taken my main altar and moved that into a more private space, which is my bedroom. Typically it would be out here in the main area, but it's not conducive to that right now. And I have had, since moving in here and in my previous home for all of the summer, had a main altar that was on the main altar for Venus. And Lilith told me when I put the minimalist altar together at the beginning of November, she was like, Venus is going somewhere else. She's visiting somebody else right now, and it's you and me, babe. And so I have been working with Lilith in a really intimate way, and Lilith, Isis, the Kailiach, and Santa Muerta. And those babies have been core. And then I have been working with Satan and Hades. Hades has come forward a little bit for me, and I haven't hung out with him a great deal, much less than Satan and Lucifer. So that's been interesting, building relationship with him. The other god that's come forward, and this was so fascinating. I did a client reading with Mercury, and I was like, hello, Mercury, I kind of like you. Are you hanging around? And he did hang around. And then Vincent has been studying a lot in science around galaxies and planets, and he came home, I think it was like 2 weeks ago, and he was like, Mom, Mercury, can we talk about Mercury? And so from a science perspective, but he also has an astrology, bare basics beginner. Please don't think I'm any type of learned voice on astrology. But so he also has, like, he's had the lingo of Mercury from an astrological perspective for a long time in his life. So he's like, Mom, we got to talk about Mercury. So we've kind of both been hanging out with Mercury, and that's been really fun. And Mercury's in retrograde right now too. So that's been really kind of, it's timely. It's been fitting that Mercury has come forward too. So those are the deity I've been walking with. And they've really informed my practice. My practice is very intensive right now, but September, October, November, it's always intensive. Very devotional, very ritualistic. I really follow like a formula that if I get out of it this time of year, I don't like. So I can be a little bit rigid with that for myself. And I think part of the lesson is like, hey, you got to be a little bit more fluid with that. But I do like rigorous practice this time of year. I just enjoy it. It just excites me. So I'm already almost, I'm over halfway through a journal that we just collaged in mid-October. So yeah, it's a time of heavy practice, but I really, really freaking love it. So that's what I've been flowing through from a witchcraft and personal practice perspective. Now I want to share with you my faves for this month from a makeup perspective, from a candle and scent perspective, and from, of course, an oracle and tarot perspective. So the rest of this video is going to focus on that. It's a wicked long video, so please feel free to, hop in and out wherever you would like to. I'll try to put some timestamps in the description box for you. But yeah, let's talk glamour magic and November faves from a glamour magic perspective. So for my fellow beauty-loving Venusian glamour witches, this little section of favorites is for you. So I wanted to talk about makeup and fragrance that I'm really in love with right now. So first of all, I wanted to talk about makeup palettes. I've really been enjoying, and I'm actually wearing this today. Fable wanted everyone to see his bone because that's his favorite thing this November. But I'm actually wearing today on my lids this particular palette. And I have a feeling that for my December Patreon Get Ready With Me, we're actually gonna play with this palette. Last month for November's Get Ready With Me, which I did at the beginning of this month, which feels like last month already. We did a really kind of colorful look for our Get Ready With Me, but for December, I think I'm actually going to use this palette, and this is the Nomad Pacific Northwest palette. It's so gorgeous, guys, and as you can see, I'm wearing it today. I really like palettes like this for that kind of moody, dark, gothic vibe, like a romantic goth vibe. And so today I'm wearing these three colors and this shimmer right here. So those three colors are Foggy Forest, Perfect Pinot, Sasquatch Sighting, and I'm wearing the Cascadia shimmer in my inner corners, and I really love this palette. First of all, Nomad's formulas are really easy to work with. They're so gorgeous. Their mattes are delicious. And their shimmers aren't like as insane as some brands, but they're really solid and very easy to work with. So Nomad is a great indie company, and they donate a certain amount of proceeds for each of the palettes to conservation areas associated with the area that they've made the palette around. So this is the Pacific Northwest palette. It's really, really gorgeous. And this palette cover is like an oil painting. It has texture like that. And so when I'm recording today on a Friday, which is Venus's day. And so when I'm really feeling Venus and she's really connected with me, I like to leave my makeup palettes, if they're particularly lovely like this one, on her altar space, just kind of honoring the connection with her that I was engaging with while I was doing my makeup. So this one is one that I think Venus really enjoys. I think she's down for this one. So this is the Nomad Pacific Northwest palette. And I did pull 2 palettes. So here's the thing, like this time of year, it's colder here in New Hampshire, and I just enjoy playing with color with my makeup a little bit more than I do in the summer months when it's really hot and I just want like my classic eye and I don't have to overthink too much in the heat. But I do tend to feel really inspired makeup wise when it comes to colorful palettes in the autumn and the winter. And always around Halloween, some off the chain palettes get released. So this is one of them. This is Unearthly Cosmetics Conjuring palette. So if you're also a fellow horror movie fan, you may enjoy having this just for the, you know, what it's the movie it's associated with, the movie series, I should say. You might not think that this would be a goth girl's palette, but there is so much you can do here. Fable has been getting so excited for our videos. Okay, there's actually so much you can do here that really plays dark and moody and grungy on the eyes, and the shimmers in this palette, amazing. Nothing like these shimmers. And the one that I've really been liking is, I have to actually look at it to see. I didn't think I would like this because I'm not a pink girl, but this clairvoyant color looks incredible on the lid. And then these two right here, Possession and Bathsheba, stunning, 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 stunning. So this is really nice. It's actually moody and it plays grungier, at least on my eyelids, than it looks in the palette. Okay, so this final palette that I'm loving for the moody month of November was released, I believe, last Halloween, and it sold out so fast I had to wait until it got re-released. And this is a Romantic Goth Dream. So if you like to play with reds, blacks, grays, this kind of moody, dark tones, then I think you'll enjoy this palette. It may be sold out again. I hope it's not. All 3 of these decks are indie makeup brands, so you can't find them at like Ulta. You need to actually go on their websites. I will do my best to remember to link them. But this is Wicked Widow Beauty's The Crow palette. Wicked Widow Beauty does some insane shimmer shades, and she brought it with this one too. So this is of course based on the Crow film, and so if you're a lover of that movie, you're going to enjoy this palette. But this palette is right up there with my Vamp palette by Bella Beauté Bar, which is like, after my Melt Gemini and Gemini 2 palette, probably my favorite palette of all time. This one is tied for that. It is so beautiful. The shimmers are gorgeous. The mattes are really pigmented, and the formula is very blendable. So if you're new to working with glamour magic and makeup as part of that practice, I think you'd really enjoy this. And you can actually do some neutral looks with this palette very easily as well. So if you don't want to play with the reds, then you can go in neutral really easily. So this palette's actually one that travels really nicely too. And if you love the Crow, the vibes are real. So these are the 3 makeup palettes that have really been inspiring me when I step into my magical morning makeup routine space. I only pulled 1 fragrance to share that of the physical item that I have, but I have been obsessed with fragrance this year. I think particularly I've always enjoyed fragrance, and I've always had like 3 or 4 perfumes that I tend to work with. And I'm someone who really is a mood scent wearer. And I typically if you've been with me on the channel for years, or if you're over on Patreon, you know, I really like smoky, musky, woody, animalic. Like, I don't want to like oud, but I freaking like oud. You know, like that's just how I am. I tend to wear more masculine fragrance. And if I go floral, it's typically a rose. However, what kind of reignited my passion around fragrance and like really amped me up was, you guys may remember this, not this spring. Actually, maybe it was this past spring. I can't remember. It was cold. I discovered Le Labo's Bay 19 fragrance, which is strong on the petrichor. There is nothing like that fragrance. So I discovered that fragrance, and I also discovered Heretic perfume, however we want to say that. Heretic's Nosferatu fragrance, which came out with the movie at the end of 2024. You guys know I'm obsessed with that movie. I've done a whole deck list. I've done a whole series on the channel based on inspired practice from that movie. And the Nosferatu perfume had lilac and petrichor in it. And I love the natural scent of lilac out in the world. But from a perfume perspective, I feel like it goes like old lady, not in a good way on me. However, that Nosferatu perfume is a dream. And so that Nosferatu perfume and Le Labo's Bay 19 just kind of reignited this passion I have for fragrance. And I really have been enjoying this year pairing decks with perfumes. And I do intend to do a little more playful content around that. I'm not sure if I'm going to bring that to YouTube or if it will stay on Patreon with my community there, but I do love pairing perfume with certain decks. And when I'm in the mood to work with certain decks, I really love to layer a fragrance that I associate with, you know, that union. I like to bring that to my day, as in I might spray that perfume if I know I'm going to be working with that deck. And then it's this beautiful conversation that flows through the day. So I have been wearing Relique d'Amour, which is the ultimate goth fragrance ever. I know it has a water base and so it doesn't last as long. Some people complain about that. I don't care. I'll reapply that fragrance all day. It's literally the epitome of gothic romance, you know, in a graveyard, at a cathedral, in the fog. It's delicious. It's everything. But I did get, because you guys know, I do also really like Falling Trees by Regime de Fleur and Little Flower by Regime de Fleur. If I'm going to wear a floral and it's not Nosferatu, it would probably be Little Flower by Regime de Fleur. Chloe Sevigny was the muse for that particular perfume. And I love Falling Trees. That was like my first real investment perfume that I saved for. So I had also purchased a Discovery Kit by Regime de Fleur. And I ended up, and you know, if you're on Patreon, Vincent is so much fun to ask to describe scent to, because he gets such a kick out of it. And so like he'll come in and smell it and then we'll talk about the fragrance. So we have loved Oud de Cannes together. That was like our favorite one that we smelled from that Discovery Kit together. But when we moved, I realized that I hadn't really played with some of the different fragrances in that Discovery Kit. So in October, I pulled out Le Bas, which literally means down there. And it's literally in the description. It's about a liminal scent. It's about being somewhere and wishing you were somewhere else, and getting there and then wishing you were back where you were. It's that liminal space of the in-between. And it's very much about, it's like cathedral meets city. And I didn't realize it's technically a guy's fragrance. No one cares about that stuff anymore, but it's technically a guy's fragrance. And it is discontinued. So I've had this Discovery Kit for a while, hadn't really played with Le Bas, started wearing it and I was like, oh my God, this might be my winter scent. Like this might be the one. Regime de Fleur has canceled it. So it's not around anymore. You have to find it. I ended up finding it on eBay and I got it for a relatively reasonable price. And I'm just pulling up the Fragrantica notes here because I just want to share with you. So it is a leather fragrance for men, always my favorite. And it's my favorite and I don't want to smell it on a dude. It's my favorite because I want to wear it. But this is by, the nose behind the fragrance is Dominique Ropion. And it literally means down there in French, or under there, I believe. If you speak French, please correct me because you guys know I do not pretend to know how to pronounce anything correctly. But the main accords, leather, woody, smoky, rose, mossy, earthy, animalic, and patchouli. And it is like that. It's like the entrance to a cathedral when you stand at the top of the stairs and you still have the scent of like the gasoline from the cars outside or the oil, you know, that kind of smell of, the only thing with this one is it's really difficult to get the little top on. Yeah, it's like the intersection between these really like earthy, dank kind of oil, leathery smells because of course it has freaking oud in it. I don't want to like oud, but I really like it. So it's like the juxtaposition, the central point, the crossroads where that meets the incense of a Catholic cathedral and the scent of like ritual oil from a space of ritual practice. So it's like that in between crossroads. And I have been loving this. I'm really thankful I managed to find a bottle on eBay. As I said, guys, it has been discontinued. So if you want to play with it, I don't know, you know, if I hadn't had the Discovery Kit little sample size, I wouldn't have invested the money in this, you know, because this is really niche. Like if you don't like everything I just described, you are not going to like this perfume. And it is heavy masculine. It's a heavy fragrance, but I really love that this time of year. And so I'm absolutely in love with this one. So this one I've been wearing a lot. Other than that, Falling Trees and Le Labo's Ambrette 9, super soft, delicious musk. It's like putting on, it's like putting on lingerie, that fragrance for me. So I like to layer that one with others. And right now I've been layering Ambrette 9 with Falling Trees and really liking that. But outside of that and Relique d'Amour, this is going to be core for me, particularly in the winter months, because it's so heavy, it's so opulent. It kind of is asking you to layer it with a lot of velvet and lace for sure. So the other other three things from a Glamour Magic perspective in this video. And one of these is an investment, and it's this. So I just want to be upfront about that. But I think I found like my go-to liquid red when I don't want to wear Besseme's reds, because I really like Besseme's red lipstick in the cream formula. When I want to wear a bright red, I'm talking about bright red here. Outside of that, Melt's mattes are my favorite formulation for a regular tube lipstick when it comes to nudes. But this is Fenty Beauty's Uncensored, and it is an expensive lipstick. However, one swipe of this lasts me 12 to 14 hours without reapplying and no creasing. And it's this gorgeous orangey red, which really tends to work better for me when I'm going bright than like a blue-based red. So like Russian red, which is kind of a true red from MAC. That's like an OG MAC color. It doesn't like pop for me the way that a red like this will. And I have a warm undertone with my skin. So if you're the same, you may find that helpful. This color is amazing and it doesn't budge. I don't have to worry about it. I can give Vincent a smooch on the forehead and he doesn't have lipstick transfer. It does really, to me, it's worth the investment, but I think it is like a $39 lipstick. When it comes to nudes this month, I have been loving Melt's new matte, which unfortunately this lipstick came damaged, so I apologize. I'm going to show you a damaged tube there, but it did come smashed a little bit because I ordered it online. This like kind of grungy, rosy brown, and this with, what liner have I been using? Because my old school Jeffree Star Deceased liner, I finally ran out of it. There was much grief because that lip liner is not around anymore. I have been using Melt's cinnamon lip liner, I believe, with this. But I would also use like MAC has a brown lip liner called Root for me, and I think that would look really great underneath this too. I'm going to play with that a little bit more, but I've been wearing this a lot when I've been doing nudes. So my final thing as far as Glamour Magic goes are the lipsticks I've really been wearing the most of, which are darker toned lipsticks. It's my favorite month. November, December, January are my favorite months, I should say, to really wear deep, dark burgundies and merlots and these kind of like brick, heavy brown reds. I love it. I love it, love it, love it. And I've talked so much about KVD's Midnight Phlox on the channel that I did want to show two other options that I've really been wearing the shit out of, to be very honest with you. The one I wear the most is Unearthly Cosmetics Marianne. As you can see, wearing it today. And then the other one is Gloria. So if you look at the two, Gloria's a little bit more brown. She's at the bottom. And then Marianne is a little bit more of like a winey, moody red, right? So she's got like a little bit of that Merlot, very similar to the color on my nails, which is no accident. my lipstick was literally the inspiration for that particular lipstick. So those two I've been wearing a ton and I love it. I feel very romantic goth / early 90s vampire. And if it wasn't so freaking cold out, I would have a lace blouse on today that matched that. But it was literally too cold to do that. This morning I was like, I'm never gonna make this video if I wait to be warm enough to, to wear my dream top with it. But that's the Glamour Magic Essentials that I've especially been enjoying this November. So over on Patreon, we have our monthly little book club kind of thing, where every month I share what I've been reading, what's on my TBR, if I've had a good reading month, if I haven't, what's been inspiring me. But for November, I thought I would share with you guys, both here and on Patreon, the books that I purchased this month that I'm in the middle of reading and really finding inspiration from. So I haven't finished these books. I can't give a review. If I do finish them this month, they will of course go in the book club over on Patreon and I'll be chatting all about them. But I thought I would just share a few of these books with you guys. Well, not a few, a lot, because I did purchase a few this month. I ended up taking a little outing to Barnes & Noble with my lovely little fam, and I came across both of these books. Didn't intend to purchase either of them. They were in the military history and philosophy sections, but they really, really struck me. And this one I have really been sinking my teeth into. Like I'm not too far in, but as you can see, I've been doing lots of outlining, lots of looking up of words, lots of researching as I read. So this is A Terribly Serious Adventure, Philosophy and War at Oxford from 1900 to 1960 by Nicol Krishnan, and I apologize if I have mispronounced his name. I love Iris Murdoch. I read The Sea, her novel, over the summer, and I was so struck by it that I've also started reading some of her philosophy work, and I've also purchased a book about her life that I'm looking forward to diving into. This book has Iris featured, and so I knew I wanted to get it right away. And it's really about their personal lives as well as their ideas around their philosophical, how do I say that right? Their philosophical approach, their thought processes around that, but it's also about their personal lives. And I love hearing about people's personal lives, particularly artists and thinkers. I love understanding what inspired them, right? Like I feel like it opens up areas of inspiration for me as well. I'm really, really enjoying this so far. I'm not super far in, but I am really, really enjoying this. And this was, again, I got this at Barnes & Noble. I'm sure you can also find it on Amazon. The other book that I got is Kingmaker, Pamela Harriman's Astonishing Life of Power, Seduction, and Intrigue by Sonia Purnell. Now, if you know me at all, you know that I have an obsession with FDR. I have for decades. I've read almost every single book about his life. I also have a fascination with World War II. I'm sure I had a past life that involved it because I'm obsessed with World War II. So I've read a lot of books on military history around that. And this is about Churchill's daughter. So I love the idea of getting into the approach of a woman during that time, an intelligent woman who is able to work in a branch of espionage and gather information during World War II. And that's what this book is about. So if that sounds interesting to you, I have not started this one yet because this one this is my little treat when I go through all of the Patreon mini reads, because that's like running a marathon for me energetically. And so when I get done with that, I always have like a little book to enjoy. That's my little treat. And I have a nice little glass of wine that night. So I want to start this book when I finish all my Patreon mini reads this month, which I'm in the middle of right now as I'm recording. So this looks really, really good. I haven't started it, so I can't tell you if it's good or not, but I'm intrigued and I'm very excited to read about it. And I'm enjoying the fact that I'm getting a chance to read about a woman's experience during World War II. Okay, these two books totally purchased because of the book Leo on YouTube. I love her channel. When I feel stressed or over anxious, I love to go to BookTube. It's just a nice relaxation. It gets me out of my head. It lets me tap into things that inspire me, and it's just relaxing, right? Like I'm sure when you guys hang out with me too, sometimes it's just nice when you're doing chores or something to have a book channel or a channel on YouTube that you really, really love in the background. And so I'm often listening to the book Leo, yes, or Jordaline Reads, or Hannah. She talks about Gothic literature. I will try to remember to put their channels in the description box down below. They're very popular channels, so I'm sure if you like BookTube, you've checked them out. But the Book Leo recently reviewed these two, and I was like, ooh, they sound kind of interesting. So I purchased these on Amazon last week. I have not started reading them yet, but they are on my list, and I'm very excited to dive into them. They're also not as meaty as the others, so I think I'll be able to really get into them this month. So this is called Paradise Rot by Jenny Val. It's a sapphic story, and it sounds really interesting though, so I'm going to read it to you instead of try to describe it. Joe is in a strange new country for university and having a more peculiar time than most. A house with no walls, a roommate with no boundaries, and a home that seems ever more alive as the days pass. Joe's sensitivity in all her senses become increasingly heightened and fraught as the lines between bodies and plants, dreaming and wakefulness, blur and mesh. And so this is a debut artist from a critically adored artist and musician. And it presents a heady and hypersensual portrayal of sexual awakening and queer desire. So sorry, I got something on there. I think this sounds really good. And also that cover, it's so nice. I love it. Okay. The other book is Nymph, a novel by Stephanie LaCava, a thriller examining violence through its subversion and a singular love story. Not yet 30, Bathory has assembled a peculiar resume: model, sex worker, linguist, Latin scholar, and assassin. The last of these has been the family trade for generations. Growing up, Bathory, her mother, and her father made an isolated, strange and loving, if very unusual, family unit. Her lonely childhood games mimicked spycraft and wet work, while her parents watched and shared their arcane theories about love and death. As a student in New York, her life changes on accepting a job at a dilapidated card shop in Manhattan. This is a front for an agency that allows her to put her inherited skills to use while pursuing romance in the city. However, steering clear of attachment is as dangerous as anything else she does and means sidestepping a certain alluring figure from her father's past. She is equally intent on dying young, a less difficult proposition given her heritage, the company she keeps, call girls, conflicted cops, trust fund hoodlums, and the people pursuing her. Will Bathory escape both fate and family, or does satisfaction and salvation lie only in their embrace? That doesn't sound as interesting as the way the book Leo made it sound. It sounds different though, right? So I thought, ooh, that looks kind of good. It's not a super long book, so it'd be a nice, easy read when I'm tired. So this has also made my list. These last two, first of all, can I just say, if you have not read T. Kingfisher's What Moves the Dead, and you love Poe, go out there and get that, because this is the third series in the book. So I don't want to give too much away. The covers are some of my favorite covers of the recent past that I've purchased. And our main protagonist is now venturing down into the dark depths of an abandoned time and facing what stalks the deep in this eerie new chapter of the New York Times best-selling Sworn Soldier series. I love this series. I have both of the other books, What Moves the Dead and What Feasts at Night. It's beautiful. It's not too intensive to read if you're new to Gothic literature, if you kind of are new to the horror genre too. This isn't quite horror. It's old school horror, you know? But I love T. Kingfisher and I love this series. I can't wait to sink my teeth into this. Somehow I missed the pre-order on this, but thankfully there were still plenty in stock, so I was able to get that one. I'm very, very excited to read that one. That one I think I might do after Thanksgiving when I'm tired and I just want to like chill on the couch. I think that's when I want to start then. And then the final book I got this month that I'm really excited about, that's making my favorite things list, is Why This World, a biography of Clarice Lispector by Benjamin Mosier. Milkfed on Substack recommends this book. And so I purchased this because I do enjoy a lot of the same books that she does. And as I was sharing with my Patreon peeps, I think actually during the book club video for October, that I've really come to understand that I appreciate Anais Nin, but I actually resonate more with Clarice Lispector, and I'm really smitten with Clarice. And so this one I am really excited to read. It's a very hefty book. She's thick, but and I really want to savor her. Kind of like the philosophy book we started this book section off in the Favorite Things series. I enjoy savoring these types of books. I don't want to rush through it. I just want to savor the experience. I want to savor getting to know the individual as well as the artist. So this one, super excited to work with. All right. Next on the list are candles. I've been a little bit of a candle hoe this month. I'm not even gonna lie to you. I've been burning candles like crazy. And very much to my chagrin, I have discovered that Maker of Waxed Goods has finally canceled making the leather and suede candle, and I'm a little bit heartbroken. This is my last one, and they don't have any like leftovers for sale on the website anymore. I've been burning this particular scent for years, and it's very like this and Horror Movie Night, which October Occult has renamed. This candle and Horror Movie Night, Vincent associates with his childhood. Like anytime he comes in the house and they're burning, he gets nostalgic, and he loves to tell me, oh my God, Mom, that reminds me of being a kid. So this candle is really special, and I'm on my last burn. I'm halfway through. It's leather. Guess what else it has in it? Oud wood and musk. But it's a really, really beautiful candle. I'm very, very sad. I'm very sad that she's gone. They had another one which had birch in the title that I really loved too, that they've also discontinued. So that makes me really sad, but I'm enjoying my final burn of this. This candle, and this is an investment candle, and as you can see, I have burnt it down. This is Diptyque's Feu de Bois. This candle, oh my God, it's like wood smoke. But it's not. Marshmallow Fireside from Bath & Body Works is like a sweet wood smoke. This is like wood smoke with this like warmth, this ambered warmth underneath. Oh my God, love this candle. This is Feu de Bois. I have definitely burned through. For me, someone who burns candles all the time, the investment on this is worth it. I understand it's a price point that's pretty freaking high. Is the candle any better than a candle you might get at Marshall's? Absolutely not. It's just Diptyque, and I like this particular fragrance. I'm also a little bit of a label hoe, and I like that hoe. I like that hoe. I do like that hoe. I like that label. So let me grab the last candle I've been burning a ton of. So I have been burning, I actually burnt out, and I thought I had a backup candle. That's why I just ran downstairs to my little storage area, but I actually don't. So I need to place an order. So it's a good thing I made this video. Is October Occult's The Woodlands candle. So I just pulled up what's in it so I can tell you. Blue spruce, cypress, cedar, and rich soil are in that candle. I love that candle. So I will be sure to put the link down below in case you want to go check that out. But I love that candle. And the other one I'm burning, this is from last year. So this year's edition may look a little bit different from October Occult, but this is the Yule Folklore candle. As you can see, I burnt it down about halfway last year, and I started burning it early because it's really cold here, and it just feels like Christmas is coming very quickly, even though we still have a little bit of time. I'm not trying to stress you out if you're behind on shopping. I am super type A personality, and that I've already gotten Vincent's gifts because that's how I roll. But if you are behind, I'm not trying to stress you out, but it just really does feel like Yule is rapidly approaching. So this one I burnt halfway down last year, and this one is Fir Needle, Cold Forest Mist, Wood Smoke. Notice the theme. Evergreen, Black Spruce, Myrrh, Oak Moss, Mistletoe, and Howlite Crystal topped this one. Again, this is last year's, so I am not 100% sure what this year's will look like. But because October does change and shift things over time, which I love about her, or I should say October Occult. Haley is her name. So this one I want to finish, and then I have, I'm going to now this afternoon place an order to repurchase Woodlands, and so I will grab one of these too. I always love October Occult's candles. They're definitely investment candles, but they're worth it to me if I'm burning them all the time, which again, I am. I use candles and fire as fire magic, as aspects of my fire element magical practice all the time. And these candles are really special. So those are my favorites this month. Those are the ones I'm burning all the way down. As you can see, Feu de Bois and Woodlands gone. This is halfway. This will be gone soon too. So many wonderful scents. So little time, guys. All right, so here we are, the things that are most kind of core and not kind of, that are the most foundational to my practice, and the decks that I am absolutely loving working with this month. So I should say really quickly, I'm gonna, digress further because I am so rambly today. I hope you guys are enjoying that. There were two things that are kind of like adjacent to my deck work that I just wanted to kind of do a little shout out around. And one of those are my Leuchtturm 1917 A5 hardcover squared journals. If you are with me on Patreon, you guys know we've collaged the last few of my journals together. I love these journals and I cannot say enough about them. I have literally filled probably close to 100 of these over the years since I discovered this particular brand. And I just fall more and more in love with this style over time. Like, I literally don't want to use any other style of journal because this literally feels like coming home when I write in it. So as you can see, this fall I had an autumnal gothic romance, gothic horror feel. And so I have Lucifer there, and I have some old romance novel imagery. And I just really, really love the Leuchtturm journals, and I love the different colors. They have a gorgeous cherry red that I want to use once this is done for winter, that just came out for their new seasonal collection. But I just wanted to throw that out there. If you're looking for any particular style of journal and you haven't quite found the one yet, this might be the one for you. It's a little bit thicker, fatter than the moleskin ones that were really popular a couple years ago. Everybody loved them, but I like that this is a bit fatter, but it's that same length. And I just like having squared pages. They just kind of open up things for me from an artistic and a writing perspective. So that I wanted to just share. I've been like extra giving her love every day, appreciating her. And the other thing, which is by Jessica Rue, so to me it is adjacent to what we're going to talk about today, is the mini calendar, the mini Woodland Wardens calendar. And guess what, guys? So I didn't realize when I purchased it, I just was like, oh, Vincent and I will like looking at this year for 2026. But it literally has some of the guidebook meaning for the spirit animal in the imagery. Isn't that gorgeous? So I'm really excited I got this. I found it on Amazon. I think it was like $9 when I bought it. And I love Jessica and I love to support her work. So it's retails $10.99, this says, but I think Amazon had it on sale for $9 when I grabbed it. Really, really lovely. I'm so excited that this will be my calendar for 2026. 2025 was Edward Gorey. I love him. I love Gorey so much. And so I'm excited that this year's going to be as good too, this next upcoming year. All right, let's get into why you're here, which are my favorite decks. My favorite decks for November, my favorite decks for late autumn into early winter. The first one on the list, I can't show you because YouTube will ban me. I already got clocked in my last video where I don't know, I must have accidentally showed something. I don't know what happened, but this is the Wild Eden Tarot. If you are on Patreon, I have an unlisted unboxing of that for Samhain because I can't show this on YouTube. But this deck is gorgeous. It's really special. It's absolutely beautiful. I will do my best to put the Amazon link to purchase this in the description box down below. This is a special deck. It's really gorgeous. All of the nudity it's not nudity for nudity's sake. It's helping you to tap into the innocence of your own divine nature, your own divine essence. And it's something really, really special. So if you've at all been interested in this Wild Eden Tarot, I strongly recommend making the investment. It's absolutely worth it. Next on the list is my Sacred Symbols Oracle. Yeah, I know. I'm like, why are you so freaking awesome? I have a few tarot students right now. And we've been, with one of them, we've been using this deck. And it's really helped me to reconnect with how freaking awesome this deck is. I don't want to love this deck as much as I do because I know it's very popular and I like niche things. And so once something gets too popular, I tend to take a step back unless it's feu de bois and I can't help myself. But this deck is really, really good. It's really accurate and it's very easy to use. And so I'm going to be continuing to use it in my mini pulls for Patreon this month, but I'm also going to use it in my year ahead readings. And yes, year ahead readings are coming to my Etsy shop next week. So keep an eye out for that if you want to invest in that with me. But this deck is really good for readings like that. When you want to go more perhaps classic divinatory and you really want to access the awareness that symbols provide, this deck is simple, it's to the point, it doesn't try to be something it's not, and it makes it very effective for clarifying tarot, but also for tapping into, from a divinatory perspective, things like most likely outcomes, representations of connection with specific deity, and affirmation, inspiration from your spirit tribe members. This is a really great deck, and I don't want to love it, but I do. So that is on my favorites this month. Next is the Woodland Wardens Tarot by Jessica Rue. We did an unboxing of this on the channel, I think in October, and a wonderful sister gifted this to me, and I love this deck so much. I love Jessica Rue's decks. So I'm actually putting both the Woodland Wardens Oracle, which is an OG fave of mine, and the Woodland Wardens Tarot on this list. You cannot go wrong with either of these. They are different, so they're not the same. They're not the same deck, but both of these are absolutely stunning. Of the two, I really can't live without my Woodland Wardens. So this one has to beat this guy out a little bit, but I am already, like, this is already a top used tarot deck for me, and I've only had it for a few weeks. It's definitely great for beginners. The only thing I would say that could make this deck tricky for you is the size. It is a hefty deck, so if you have smaller hands, you may struggle with it, but there's just something so sweet. It reminds me of, do you know what it reminds me of the more I use it? Beatrix Potter. I loved her stories when I was a little kid. And there is something about, like, I just think about Jemima Puddle Duck and I kind of get a little bit weepy because I just have such treasured memories of reading Beatrix Potter's stories when I was little. And this deck kind of taps into that same sense of like nostalgia, sweetness, but also like a wildness, an innocence and a wildness. And so I've been using these for my mini monthlies. Absolutely in love with it. Been using it in regular readings too. So excited to get to know her better. She's already a favorite for me. Definitely a favorite for November. Next on the list is the Laputin Oracle. This is the time of year when I work with these bad boys. And yes, Laputin Oracle is indeed a bad boy. It's a beautiful deck for bridging the gap between shadow work and becoming. Like the integration point of shadow work. This deck is wonderful for that. Not only is the artwork beautiful, but there's places this deck can take you to that really help you to tap back into the maiden aspect of yourself. And integration, becoming, I'm trying to find images without nudity to share here. There's an innocence, there's a fall from grace, there's a reawakening, and a tapping into wildness and magic that this deck offers that makes it very unique. And I love to work with it in the cold, dark months. And actually, not this month, but in December, I do intend to use this deck with the Chicoli Tarot from some of my own shadow work. So if you are wondering like, oh, Racine, what do you use personally for shadow work? This deck is on the list, but it's not so much the intensity of shadow work. It's more the integration part, the aspect of becoming, the curiosity that leads you into shadow work. That's this deck. And I've really, really been enjoying reconnecting with her this month. Okay. Next on the list, I'm just going to do it because it's real, is Tarot of Vampires. Yes, my baby, my daddy. Thank you, Daddy. That's all I can say to TOV. I love this deck so much. I can't, it is the tarot deck for me, really. If there's no other tarot deck that I could ever use than this one, I would be perfectly happy. This is the one. And I think you know when you found the one from a tarot deck perspective, because you just feel it. Like it's a part of you in a way. There's a language the two of you share. There's a comfortability. You push each other. You fight a little bit sometimes. And you just share every freaking day together. And that is Ian Daniels' Tarot of Vampires for me. And I have been loving my daily draws with this deck this month. And I've been using this deck a lot in both October and November for client readings. So yeah, I love her. I just freaking love her. I cannot help it, guys. I absolutely freaking adore her. So this is probably my most favorite. Well, no, it's my most favorite of all time. It's probably my most favorite for November of this year as well. But I didn't want to list it as the last one because I always do. I just kind of wanted to throw her in the mix. So the other few decks that I've really been working a lot with this month, and there is an unboxing coming to the channel on this, the Vacant House Tarot, I've been having a lot of fun playing with. And again, you guys see, like when it gets wintry out, I love like icy blues and baby blues and whites and like blue grays, right? Like cadet blue. Oh, love cadet blue. So this deck is another kind of shadow work, darker theme, but it still holds that innocence of the maiden, of childhood within it. And so I have really been enjoying playing with her. She's a lot of fun. She's very different. And I'm getting to know her. So I'm not using her in readings for others right now because she does have a bit of a different personality. She's not like Woodland Warden's Tarot where I was like, oh, got you fam, and we just started reading immediately for other people. The Vacant House Tarot is asking me to kind of like take it slow and hang out with her a little bit and get to know her. And I'm really enjoying that. So she's quite personal this month, but I've really been enjoying it. And I did purchase this deck with my own funds. It is an indie deck. I will try and put the link in the description box down below for you if you're interested in it. But I've really been enjoying working with this one in the month of November. So these last two, they're probably not going to surprise my diehards because those of you who have been with me from the beginning, my OG community members, because I do use these decks a lot in the colder months. And I think there's a lot that lends itself to the hermit energy in October, November, and December. It's why it's like probably my favorite triad of months of all of them in the calendar year, because I love this time of reflection, of going within, of savoring, of not rushing, hence this super wicked long video. But these two decks are really ones that ask you to savor, to study, to pay attention, to reflect, to meditate with them. And this deck is Les Vampires Oracle by Lucy Cavendish and Jasmine Beckett Griffith. So you're really working with the myth of vampires, but it's very much a shadow work theme. It's an underworld theme. It's a darker wheel. It's the darker wheel of the year that we're looking at, that darker half, when we're really being asked to trim away, to go within, to explore the inner terrain. And I like this deck for the way that it pushes you to go into the discomfort. So it's not a soft and sweet deck to me. It's a real, honest, confronting deck. And it is that time of year where I want that. And so I have really been treasuring working with this deck personally, but also bringing her back into client readings because she's given a lot of meat on the bone for my my video readings this month and for my work with students as well. So I'm profoundly grateful for her. And I also love that we take some time apart during the summer, often, because it lets you appreciate, you know, it lets me appreciate her. I don't get burnt out on Les Vampires because we do take some time apart. And honoring that makes connecting with her really, really enjoyable in those times when we are wedded and bedded, if you will. Okay, so the final deck on this list is Zia Hunt's Nameless One. I have been working with this deck a lot this year, and I have such lust for this deck. And there's also this month too, and I think I talked about this recently in a video, there's been like a fae vibe that's come in with this in an unexpected way, because I've really predominantly tapped into the magic of the bones and the spirit animal energy with this deck. But there's something that's been revealing itself in the core cards, which if you work with the Nameless One by Zia Hunt, you too may be confounded by those freaking core cards like I am. The masks, Not my favorite part. I love the artwork in this deck so much, except for the jesters and the court cards with their masks. I don't love them as much in this deck. Like I haven't found my way in. But I think I found my way in by understanding that what we're really interacting with is the Fae when we're working with the court cards here. And so I've been trying to shift reading it like tarot, and instead approaching them like Fae beings that I'm getting to know. And that's been like a really interesting interplay with this deck. That's brought another level of love forward for me with this one. This deck is so special. And it's like no other deck I have. And I've really been coming to just appreciate her more and more over the years. I am so thankful that a beloved sister in the journey with me she really recommended, and she doesn't often do this, but she was like, the grimoire for this deck is amazing. It was an investment. It was 1,000% worth it, because I still work with that grimoire. First of all, it's a gorgeous grimoire, so it's beautiful to display, but also there's so much in that grimoire. Now, if you're only able to invest in the deck itself, it comes with a really great guidebook. So please don't think you're not going to get a good guidebook. But if you do choose to invest in the grimoire, that grimoire is worth it. Like Zia put the meat in there. You're not just paying for something pretty. There's a lot of wisdom and a lot of adventuring that you can do from that grimoire. So I just love this time of year for study decks, man. And the Nameless one is a study deck. It's like, I can't figure her out completely. And I love that about her. So I've got to keep going back in, and I've got to keep being confounded by the weight and the size of this deck. But at the same time, the imagery just pulls me freaking in. So yeah, this one, love it. Love it. Cannot wait to finish out November working with her on the daily as well. I would say this deck and Laputin, probably after TOV, the ones that I'm really working with the most at the moment, mid-November for sure. So I hope if you're still here, you've enjoyed hanging out with me for a while I talk about my favorite things in November. Hopefully this video makes up for no vault video at the beginning of the month. I just did not have time to record decks I want to work with in November, but I wanted to give you something to enjoy around that theme this month anyhow. And so hopefully my faves for the month are taking that place for you. I hope you are doing well out there in the world, guys. I am sending each and every one of you oceans of love from the heart of the forest, and you know I will see you in the next video. Take care.